Hi, I'm Julie Weber of Liberate Ministries, and today's topic is called Relationships Video 5. Well, I'm shooting this video from the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, and my husband Jeff is joining me.
Hey everybody, I'm glad to be here.
I've worked with single women and men in dating couples who have experienced abortion, and they have shared some common concerns about marriage. Should I tell others I date or possibly want to marry about my abortion with someone else? I'm damaged goods. Will anyone ever want me if I tell them? Should we just get married after the abortion and make it work? Will marriage fill the void in my life right now? Is it the solution to my problems? While there aren't any right or wrong answers, we encourage the people to seek to be emotionally and spiritually healthy so they could make the most of life whether they were married or single. So seek being healthy and single, or seek being healthy and married. I had this couple come to me and they weren't married. They wanted help on how to go on in life into the next relationship after what they had experienced of having a child without being married. Having a child is a life-changing event, and being single is harder. Right. So I worked with them to cover a lot of my love, for example, the forgiveness, the grief, and identity in Christ, as well as help them establish some new dating boundaries. I encourage them to get right with God and seek what His purpose is for their life. Then to set new goals for themselves. Then as they begin to date again or enter a new relationship, they have these goals in life. And they say to themselves, okay, how am I going to date this person today without sleeping with this person and not getting pregnant again and having another abortion? How do I begin to prepare myself for the next person in life in dating? So they were all concerned about being married, and I told them not to be concerned with that, but to focus on getting yourself healthy as individuals, whether you stayed together or ended their relationship. So this really took the pressure off of them. Proverbs 18:13-15 is a scripture, and that says, a healthy spirit conquers adversity. But what can you do when the spirit is crushed? Jeff?
Thank you, Julie. That verse is true, and what Julie talked about, we saw over and over again as we sit down with single people as well as dating couples. They would express concern, like and want to get married to solve their problems. They viewed marriage as the thing that would help them solve their problems. When we were having those conversations, we would often share an example based on mathematics, which I'd like to share with you today, that helped prove a point. And it kind of broke through their idea of what marriage was, and it made them think. So let's talk about, for the purposes of this example, if someone is not healthy, they're struggling, and they're really kind of in a broken state, we're going to call them as, they're going to be represented by a half, one half. If a person is emotionally healthy at the time and in a good state of mind and emotions, we'll call them equal to one. So let's take an example so you can see this work. If you take someone who's unhealthy and they marry somebody who's healthy, that would be 1/2 times 1, and the result of that equation is 1/2, something less than 1. So if that person entered into marriage because they wanted to solve their problem or be fulfilled, they actually might be disappointed because the result is something less than 1, or health in this example. Let's take another example. Let's say you have an unhealthy individual who marries another broken person at the time. So that would be 1/2 times 1/2, and that equals 1/4, something much smaller. So in this particular case, what the math points out is that in this case, the two individuals that got married that were both really, really broken and not healthy, they'd be better off staying unmarried, then by getting married, the situation eroded and it got worse. When Julie and I got married, I'll share an example. We were both unhealthy. Julie was still recovering from her abortion experience, and I had recently gone through a divorce. So if we would have gotten married right after we met each other, we would have been in a bad place. 1/2 times 1/2 equals a fourth. Fortunately for us, we were both focused on getting healthy to make sure we didn't repeat that experience with the trauma of divorce and abortion. We wanted to be healthy. We worked with God. We did a lot of the things that Julie said there. And only after we set new goals for ourselves and got to a place where we were much more healthy did we even consider, getting married. And that's the advice we offer to couples. Not to wait till you're perfect before you get married, but wait till you're better along that path so that you enter into marriage in strength, in wholeness, in health, instead of limping into marriage and risking further disappointment. So let me share one more example from the Bible. This is a case where, let's take a look at a healthy relationship first. And that's a case where there's a healthy person represented by 1 who gets married to another healthy person represented by 1. 1 times 1 equals 1. It's not something less than 1. You're entering into it in a healthy manner. You know what you're getting into. You've kind of talked about it, and that's a healthy particular situation. And that's what we encourage our couples, those we talk to seek. Lastly, there is a story in the Bible where 1 times 1 equals something more than 1. And it's the story of Adam and Eve. In the garden in Genesis 1:28, God gave Adam a job description, and his job was just to tend the garden. When Eve came along and God introduced Eve to Adam and they became the first couple, the job description between Adam and Eve ended up being something much, much greater. In Genesis 1:28, the new job description was to populate the earth, to subdue it, and to take dominion over the things that were on the earth. Much bigger job description. So when God is involved and there's unity and there's health, much more can be accomplished, even beyond normal mathematics. So thank you for letting me share those examples. Hope it was helpful to you. Back to you, Julie.
Okay, that's good. Why don't we pray? Dear God, help all of those who are tuning into this video today. Help them as they seek being healthy. Help them to seek being healthy singles or healthy and married. Help them to get past the traumatic emotional loss in their relationships. Help them to have the hope that whatever state their relationship is in, that if you add God to it and begin to seek what His purpose is for your life and your relationships, that it will begin to get better. Amen. Well, thanks for watching. Live life liberated.
Amen.